Welcome to Red Eye. My name's Tom Shillue. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tease Deck. Andy?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, Donald Trump goes an entire press conference without picking a fight with the media. I kid the president, of course. Plus, a young woman in England is upset with the national lottery because she says her life has been awful ever since she won. I think I speak for everyone when I say, sod off. And finally, a plus-size Playboy model says when she strips down and rolls around in the sand, she's not doing it for men. We'll talk to men, whom I'm guessing will say, we don't care. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. Her name has too many vowels to not be Italian. Washington Times columnist Madison Gesiotto. He's happy to be here, and that his parents didn't name him Michael. Comedian and star of Nothing's Easy on ComedyCentral.com, David Angelo. Michael Angelo. Did they get that? I think they did. He was born to be a Republican. I mean, his name is Rich. Editor of National Review, Rich Lowry. And his book is called Follow That Car. Pretty sure it's about Princess Diana. Is that too soon? Ooh. That one? I don't know. Sitting right next to me, comedian Jimmy Fallon.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, let's start the show. The leaks are real. The news is fake. I'm getting that tattooed on my thigh. On Thursday, in his first solo press conference, President Trump addressed the damaging leaked information about his administration.
Is it fake news or are these real leaks?
The leaks are absolutely real. The news is fake.
Earlier in the day, the president had tweeted, the spotlight has finally been put on the low-life leakers. They will be caught. Later, he talked about how he would root out those wretches.
I've gone to all of the folks in charge of the various agencies, and I've actually called the Justice Department to look into the leaks. Those are criminal leaks.
Trump's eagerness to track down the leaks comes after National Security Advisor Michael Flynn was forced to resign this week. There is much, much more to get to in Trump's press conference, but let's start with this. Oh.
Hey.
Us. Let's start with discussion, shall we? I thought we were going to do one more thing. Rich, I'm sure you were glued to the press conference, as I was.
I was a little worried the controversy of the last couple of weeks would have distracted Trump from attacking the media. But
yes.
No, he's still attacking the media. And look, this is classic Trump. This is exactly what we've saw almost every day in the campaign trail. Combative, outrageous, funny, completely different. Not sure it's a great look for a president of the United States or whether it'll wear well, but he wants to have a fight with the media and fires up his supporters.
Yeah, well, what do you think about this? Do you know anything more about these leakers than I do, than what's been in the news? I mean, who is it? Are they people from the former Obama administration?
I imagine it's a combination of former Obama people and people who are still there, who are hostile to this administration or genuinely outraged by what they considered Mike Flynn's conduct or deception. And the leaks are a huge problem. He's right, they are illegal, but you almost never track these people down. Every single administration is annoyed by leaks and says they're going to find the leakers, and they never do.
Yeah. Jimmy, what did we learn at today's press conference about the leakers? Did he give us anything else besides talking about the fake news? What do you think?
No, I mean, I just think he gave us a great show, and
yeah.
I think we should all be enjoying the show. We're never going to see this again. This is amazing.
Well, I mean, we're going to see it for the next 4 years.
But it's like I say, presidential press conferences are normally, Harvard chess matches. This is bum fights. It's so amazing. It's just, he's just out there flailing away at them, and I do think he's right. He made good points in that he said, nobody believes you people. It's true. Well, there's an Emerson poll out there, an Emerson University poll that has him polling ahead of the media on trust, 49% to 41%.
Awesome citation of an Emerson poll.
How about that? You don't get that every day.
But think about
research in the green room. But think about that more people trust Trump than the media.
Yes.
And what that says about them. Because if we're being honest, more people trust the sushi at a gas station than they do Trump. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So for him to be on top is a bad look for the media.
Okay, Trump's press conference was a freewheeling affair, unlike his usual tidy, scripted events. The president offered some gentle criticism of the media.
The press has become so dishonest that if we don't talk about it, we are doing a tremendous disservice to the American people.
Trump at one point singled out CNN's coverage of his administration.
It's story after story after story is bad. I won. I won. And the other thing, chaos. There's zero chaos. We are running, this is a fine-tuned machine.
It's a fine-tuned machine. Later, a CNN reporter tried to ask a follow-up question.
Tomorrow the headlines are going to be, Donald Trump rants and... I'm not ranting and raving. Go ahead.
Just one more follow-up.
Should I let him have a little bit more? What do you think, Peter? Peter, should I let him have a little bit more? Sit down. Sit down.
Just because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine...
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you...
It's amazing. Killing. But the president doesn't just distrust the U.S. media.
Can I just ask you, thank you very much, Mr. President.
Where are you from?
BBC.
Okay. Here's another beauty.
At the very end of the press conference, Trump finally got a good question.
She does a lot of great work for the country as well. Can you talk a little bit about what First Lady Melania Trump does for the country?
Now that's what I call a nice question. That is very nice. Who are you with?
UNF News, it's an independent.
Good, I'm going to start watching.
They gained a viewer. Not bad. Madison, I mean, the press conference is a lot of fun. I mean, I was laughing through the whole thing, and I'm laughing watching the replay of it. But, I mean, he is right about CNN. Have you watched them? It is story after story.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's winning when it comes to him versus CNN and other mainstream news networks, and he's controlling the narrative. They can't seem to keep up with him in terms of how he handles these situations, and you think they would learn. You know, he's been around for how many years doing this? He's really not that new anymore, and they can't keep up with him. I think it's great, and so many of his supporters are loving it. You know, they feel like they have a dog in the fight, and they have someone who's out there fighting for them. And I mean, I would, you know, dare to argue that many other presidents wish they would have handled the media a little differently looking back.
Yeah, I mean, being a little
Maybe
more...
not exactly like he's handling it, but I could see them looking back saying, I wish that I was a little more aggressive with
Push back a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
David, I mean, he's so good out there. Do you think he's going to have to do everything? Now, how can you send your press representative out if you can do this stuff better?
Spicer's fired.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Wouldn't it be better to just have him every day? I think it would be good. You get the answers. You don't have to go through Spicer. But, you know, I agree. The media is garbage.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why this is controversial. The media is awful.
Yeah.
And you know, CNN, they run fake news after fake news. And I feel weird saying a buzzword.
Yeah.
But it's legitimately fake news.
Very fake news.
Yeah.
Yes, now it's very fake.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Dated on that reference.
Well, what do you think of these leakers, though? I mean, he says he's going to track him down. Is he going to get, you know, remember with Hillary, it was, you know, lock her up. Is he going to be able to lock up these leakers?
I don't know. He's going to make an example of someone. It's going to get weird. Something will happen. I don't know.
Something's going to happen. Rich.
That's great punditry right there. I'm going to steal that line.
I think he's serious about
Who
it.
knows? I don't know. What the hell? I got to get a crystal ball here.
No one has any idea, right?
Rich, no one has any idea. But you said, you know, at the beginning, you said you don't know if it's a good look for a president. But is it over? I mean, is that look for a president? Is that a thing of the past? What are we going to do after Trump?
Mean, this is the big question. Has he changed the nature of the institution and the expectations about it? And that'll be one of the big questions we don't, I think, know the answer to yet. But this is a war to the death with the media. Yep. It's raw. It's tribal. Someone is going to die, and someone is going to prevail.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, the media has always been biased. But since about August of last year, they've gone into complete opposition mode. There's a brief period right after the election where there's a hint of modesty. We missed the whole thing.
Yeah.
We should re-examine ourselves.
Yeah.
And then they snapped right back. And now they are the opposition party.
Yeah, I hope it never ends. Can I just say that? This is it's amazing. Like these are like those. Remember those box sets of the Dean Martin roasts? You're going to be able to buy Trump press conferences.
It's like the Time Life.
Yeah. You know, Life presents the first 100 days. And he's just telling your mama jokes to CNN reporters. It's going to be amazing.
So true. When they're in their 40s and 50s, it's like, you remember when you were a kid and Donald Trump gave a press conference?
God, how you're going to miss this.
All right, Russia came up during the press conference. At one point, Trump repeated a claim that Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, gave Russia 20% of our uranium.
You know what uranium is, right? It's a thing called nuclear weapons and other things. Like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things. Nobody talks about that. I didn't do anything for Russia. I've done nothing for Russia. Hillary Clinton gave him 20% of our uranium. Hillary Clinton did a reset. Remember, with the stupid plastic button that made us all look like a bunch of jerks?
Trump was referring to the symbolic button she gave to Russia's foreign minister. Later, the president referenced the Russian spy ship off the East Coast.
If we could get along with Russia, that's a positive thing. We have a very talented man, Rex Tillerson, who's going to be meeting with them shortly. And I told him, I said, I know politically it's probably not good for me. Hey, the greatest thing I could do is shoot that ship that's 30 miles offshore right out of the water. Everyone in this country is going to say, oh, it's so great. It's not great. It's not great. I would love to be able to get along with Russia.
David, what's wrong with it? It's not great to shoot ships out of the water, right? That's not great. So he was...
Yeah, but he's got a point, because people are like, all these liberals who for years it was like, we need to de-escalate during the Cold War, you know, like de-escalate. Now it's like, you got Rachel Maddow, she's like, is he going to take these troops out of Poland? Because we need to do something.
You got to make a move.
It's like, what's the connection with Putin? It's so thin, you know, that's like, oh, he's in the pocket, you know, and then you have Bernie Sanders, who probably back in the 70s was meeting Putin in a park, handed a microfiche.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, this thing, well, Rich, do you agree? Because I also think this thing with Russia is totally overblown, because they have you know, contact with Russia. You know, you had Paul Manafort, who had some business in that part of the world, etc. But there is zero proof, as far as I know, of any colluding with Russia over this, the emails or anything like that before the election.
So you had this very splashy New York Times story the other day saying that there are extensive contacts during the campaign with Russian intelligence.
Yes.
And then you read down about 10 paragraphs in and say there's no evidence of collusion.
Yeah.
And the conversations might not have had anything to do with Donald Trump, which is a pretty big caveat. But look, there is a haze here. I think it's in everyone's interest to try to dispel it and get the facts out, because you have a lot of ambiguous stuff. You hate Donald Trump, you assume the worst. You love Donald Trump, you dismiss all of it. I think we need to know more.
Yeah. Madison, do you think Trump has a real grudge against the media? He mentioned at one point during the press conference that he's been doing this for years. He has. Since the 70s, he's been playing with the press. Is it all a game?
I don't think it's a game, and I don't think it's a grudge, but I think he's sick of being treated unfairly by them, and I understand why he would feel that way, because they haven't treated him fairly at all. Since the day he announced that he was running to become president of the United States, he was treated even more unfairly than conservatives before him or Republicans before him. And so I would be mad if I was being treated that way, and he's in a position that they've put him in. He didn't put himself in that position. They put him there.
They put him there. All right. At one point, Trump got into a heated exchange with a Jewish reporter who asked about the rise of anti-Semitic incidents.
Number one, I am the least anti-Semitic person that you've ever seen in your entire life. Number two, racism. The least racist person. In fact, we did very well relative to other people running as a Republican. Quiet, quiet, quiet. So he lied about he was going to get up and ask a very straight, simple question. So, you know, welcome to the world of the media.
Jimmy, you're stomping your feet when you watch the replay of this. You love it.
I love this so much. Like, you know what? He has turned the media into his personal Washington Generals. You know how the Harlem Globetrotters have that team they just beat the pants off of every game? Yeah, that's all he's doing. He should be playing Sweet Georgia Brown in the background and hitting Jorge Ramos with a bucket of confetti.
And they always had the referee, and you know, with they'd have the ball on the...
Yeah, they hand it off. Somebody gets drooped. I think it's amazing. Yeah, I just enjoy it. So.
Okay, moving on. Her life was going great until she struck it rich. The youngest person to ever win a jackpot in Britain sued the lottery because she says her windfall has made her miserable. Jane Park, who won $1.25 million at age 17, believes she was too young to deal with that amount of money. She explained, "At times it feels like winning the lottery has ruined my life. I thought it would make it 10 times better, but it's made it 10 times worse." That's the opposite of better.
Oh.
Adding, "People don't realize the extent of my stress. I have material things, but apart from that, my life is empty." In fairness, what girl wouldn't freak out after gaining £1 million? Jane's winning numbers, by the way, were 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42. Wow. Do you buy this, Madison? She's unhappy, or is this just something all young girls go through?
No, I think we need to deal with her the way Trump deals with the media, first of all. But this is ridiculous. What do you mean she's unhappy she won $1 million? Well, from reading what I've read about her, I think she spent it all anyway, so she's probably unhappy that it's gone. But if she does have some left over and it's making her so unhappy, give it away. Well, there's people and organizations that would take it and would be able to do much better with it than she has.
That is certainly true. But, Rich, we've heard this over and over. People who win the lottery, it's either gone in 5 years, or the problem is then people come at them and they ask them for things, and they don't realize who their real friends are.
That's why I never buy a lottery ticket. It's too risky. Because if you win, but it is case after case. They get robbed. It turns out all their friends and family want to exploit them and take their money. And the social science is, you need to have enough money to be sort of materially comfortable. But after that, you add on more money, it doesn't make you any happier. And actually, you're happier if you are generous and give it away. And in this case, maybe she should be more generous.
Jimmy, I have an idea.
Okay.
Start living like a millionaire now while you buy the lottery tickets. Go into debt. And then if you win...
It's like a reprieve.
Yes.
And if you lose...
I don't know. I haven't worked that out yet.
Just roll with it. No, I like your style.
Exactly.
I like your style. I think it works. I want everybody at home to realize, like, this woman is a jackass. And I want to get this out here. Just because someone has a British accent doesn't mean they're smart. We always do that in this country. We just assume these British people are smart because they have that accent. It bumps them up a few points in IQ. Did you hear the interview? Have you watched any clips of this woman? This is a complete idiot. She did blow the money, to your point. She definitely blew the money. And she's doing this to try to become relevant. Like she's going to be able to write some type of life lesson, golden fleece book.
I think it's good. I mean, I think her lesson is good, David. She's saying money can't buy happiness.
Here's why her story falls apart. She's suing the lottery.
Yeah.
Well, what's she suing for? Money?
Money.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey. What are you going for?
Well, she said it's for the principal. In fact, she dropped the suit later today. She made a statement, and she said, I'm not going to sue. But she said, I think it's already worked because everyone's talking about it. That's all she wanted.
I mean, winning the lottery is not great. I mean, you don't get... What's more nouveau riche than winning $50 million betting at a liquor store? I mean, it's like...
Would you take the lump sum? I would.
Yes,
I would divvy it up. You would?
Yeah.
They say you're supposed to, but I wouldn't do it. I would want to space it out. Okay, coming up. When models roll naked in the sand, are they doing it for your benefit? The answer to this titillating question next. 29-year-old model Myla Dalbizio is Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue Rookie of the Year. And as you can tell from these photos, she's also a feminist. In fact, for those of you who read the swimsuit issue for the articles, she penned an essay on feminism. She admits that identifying as a feminist while simultaneously desiring to be a near-naked model in Sports Illustrated must seem strange to some. The idea used to turn her off. But she says the magazine has now changed and now is a powerful social influence because it features plus-size models like Ashley Graham and athletes like Ronda Rousey. Myla explains how modeling empowers her.
We're seeing more women of all different shapes and sizes, of ethnicities, but we're not, we haven't reached the peak of the mountain yet. There's still a long way to go. By continuing to use my body, I say, as a tool, we are furthering this kind of momentum.
She says she wants to fight against the oppression of the male gaze. But can you do that while simultaneously volunteering yourself as a subject to it? She says she can. When I strip down and roll around in the sand, I'm not doing it for men. I'm doing it for me. That's right. So, to all the men watching, you could take your oppressive gaze and go make a sandwich. This video is not for you. That's not long enough to make a sandwich.
I've been thinking about you, just can't live without you. My love control you. Love. Baby, you're driving me crazy because you're easy.
I love the little pickles. It really makes the sandwich, doesn't it? Rich, do you think the male gaze is oppressive? or oppressing?
Well, I'm a little skeptical of her account. It just seems every time a model talks about this, it's never, I'm doing it for the money, I'm doing it for the attention, I'm doing it for the guys. It's always some highfalutin reason. But if I could put my feminist hat on just for a minute, the idea that she or these other models are so-called plus size is completely absurd.
That's another controversy, and she struggles with that as well because some people get mad at her. She actually, they call her plus size. She calls herself an in-betweener.
She seems normal. In fact, extraordinary.
Extraordinarily normal. Madison, look, I don't want to, poke fun of her because she's obviously smart and everything, and she's sincere in what she believes about this. But I feel that women now are being put under undue pressure by feminists to kind of wrap everything in this rhetoric. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, and I think the point she's making, which wasn't really discussed earlier, is that no matter what size you are, whether you're her size or someone else's size, there's always going to be people out there saying you need to be skinnier, you need to be heavier, you need to be taller, you need to be curvier.
Yeah.
And I think what she's saying is that she is who she is, and she's proud of that, and she's trying to, empower other women and young girls to do the same. Now, for everybody, that's not going to be rolling around in the sand in your swimsuit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think she's sending a good message.
But if she is rolling around in the sand, why can't she admit she is doing it for men? Isn't that what she's doing it for?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know her. I don't know what she's doing it for. Who knows? It could be something we haven't even thought of. But the reality is, it's what she's doing. That's her choice, and more power to her.
There you go. David, is that right? Am I being naive about this?
I think so. I mean, she doesn't have to do it for men.
Well, I mean, but she is. It's a men's magazine. Men love looking at women in bikinis.
Too.
Yes, but don't.
I'm not a man.
But the whole reason, I mean, do we have to deny that a woman in the sand isn't for men?
I mean, look, I don't do this show for your viewers. I'm here for the picked over cracker tray in the green room from Brett Baird in
He's here for the hair and makeup.
Yeah. But I know, the thing is, but you're different. Women in bikinis are, I mean, the whole reason that they have that issue is because men want to look at women, am I right?
This is one of these issues where I feel like you just can't weigh in. You can't. Is there any way to do this properly?
No. You're not even going to weigh in on
this. This is where free minds are welcome.
Safe space.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know what's right.
What is it? What is right, Jimmy?
In this instance?
Yes.
I'm to your point, the whole charade of plus-size models is infuriating to me. But bigger than that, I think we should stop training society to get their values from other people. Like we've done this with Barbie dolls. We're like, we've got to reshape Barbie because of the message it sends to young girls. If you're getting your self-worth from a Barbie doll, you are damaged beyond repair. You have bigger issues to deal with. And I think this is another case of that, where she's speaking out, but it's kind of a straw man argument. Because I don't think any of us are defining our values based on what goes on in the
She's
street.
friends with the lottery.
There are so many young girls and young women who maybe don't have the role models that so many have been lucky to have. And so that's where they're going to look, because they maybe don't have those in their lives, and they may be, a teenager or, a young adult, and they're listening to these people. So it's better to be sending a good message than to be sending a bad one.
All right. We got to go. We can talk about this during the break. We're going to keep talking. Okay, coming up, a very special halftime with TV's Andy Levy. And my latest video at Prager University has been watched more than 1 million times. It's called Don't Compare Yourself to Others. Go watch it at PragerU.com. Welcome back. Time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy over in the Red Eye News Deck. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Tom. Enjoying yourself a little sandwich?
Yeah.
All right.
I made it while I was watching that video.
Okay. Trump's press conference. Rich, you said you were worried the stuff from the last couple of weeks would distract Trump from fighting with the press. Yeah, by the end of that press conference, I think everyone forgot that the original purpose of it was for him to announce his new labor secretary.
Right, exactly.
I have not heard that guy's name mentioned once today.
Who was he again?
I have absolutely no idea.
Acosta, right?
Yeah.
Acosta.
Whoever he is, I'm sure he's literally Hitler. I'm sure.
Yeah. So wasn't "the leaks are real, the news is fake"? That was the tagline for that Spielberg movie, AI, Artificial Intelligence, I think. Wasn't it? Something like that. I don't know. Crockett, you said the press conference was entertaining. That's Fela. Come on.
I see you did. I like the Miami Vice reference. Come on, guys. I had the wrong color sport coat. That's why I got lost.
I know.
Andy, I look like Jacksonville Vice. Let's be honest.
Exactly. You said the press conference was entertaining. And yeah, it's definitely funny. There's no doubt about it. In the same way, Dr. Strangelove was a really funny movie.
It is. It's its own strand of gallows humor, man. Like, I think we should be enjoying it. We're never going to see this again because if we do, the world would be over.
Yeah.
So we might as well enjoy it.
Yeah. Rich, you said every administration says they're going to crack down on leakers, but, you know, they're not really ever able to. Even the ones that tap reporters' phones.
It's true.
Which I feel like wasn't that long ago.
It's true. Yeah, Obama was completely obsessed with leaks, and it had, at least to this point, been the toughest administration on leakers ever.
Yeah. Madison, you said Trump is winning the battle against CNN, that his supporters are loving it, all of which I completely agree with. And yet his approval ratings are not great.
Surprise.
Yeah. What do you make of that, though?
I think he's still winning, and I don't think that that has anything to do with his battle against CNN.
Okay.
You know what else, Andy? I mean, his approval rating's at 48%. That's exactly who voted for him, 48% of the country. So he hasn't really lost any ground.
Yeah.
You know, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little higher than that, isn't it?
Is it a little higher? It can't be much.
I think it might be a little lower than that, actually.
I went to community college. I'm going to recuse myself from the math portion of the SAT.
David, you said the media is garbage. You don't know why that's controversial. It's not.
It's not controversial?
No. Huh. Is it? Is anyone arguing it's not?
I don't know. Or get shot with a poison dart before I leave the studio.
No. Rich, you said one of the big questions is whether Trump has changed the institution of the presidency. I believe he has, but I believe that in 2024, President Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will restore it.
Restore the honor and the integrity of the office.
Yes. Yes.
I love that you think there's going to be a year 2024, by the way.
I actually wrote 2020, and then I was like, who am I kidding? Tom, you played that clip of Trump talking about Hillary's reset with Russia, where he said they had that stupid button that made us look like jerks. Mm-hmm. Don't you think he runs the risk of alienating game show fans?
That was the worst button ever, Andy.
It was a really bad button.
It was misspelled. It did look ridiculous. Yeah. That was a bad button.
Yeah, no, it was really bad. David, I just want to make sure of this. Did you accuse Bernie Sanders of being a Soviet agent?
Yes.
Because I think that
I did, on television.
That might be actionable. I'm not sure.
All right, whatever.
I have to check on that.
I'll come after him. Get one of those 3 houses.
Yeah.
Bernie.
British woman complains her life sucks after winning the lottery. Madison, yeah, you nailed it. If the money was making her unhappy, give it away.
Exactly. I mean, there was no grounds for a lawsuit, even in Great Britain.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, David, you said she's suing the lottery, and then Tom, you said she dropped the suit. Mm-hmm. She never actually sued. She just threatened to sue. Mm-hmm. Just so we're clear on that.
Trying to get a settlement.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Tom, just so I'm clear on this, your big idea is you should start living like you're a millionaire before you win the lottery and go into debt. Mm-hmm. And then if you win, use that money to pay off the debts.
Yeah.
This is how we ended up with Trump as president.
I don't know.
There it is.
No wonder.
Yeah.
Everything's great.
Yeah. The plus-size model thing. Tom, by the way, I don't think a single person heard a word of your monologue.
Well, I mean...
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was meant to be heard.
Yeah. And just lastly, Rich, you said the idea that that she and other models like her are actually plus-size is absurd. Which, yeah, sure, in the real world. But I think not being a size 0 in the modeling world makes you plus-size.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a completely unrealistic and artificial standard.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Derek Jeter's wife just got pregnant.
Oh, to the end of the show?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to go. I'm always cutting you off because you're always talking. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, very special thanks to my whole panel. Stay tuned for President Trump's press conference in its entirety next.